Hello and welcome back to Alyena's Kitchen, where today we are going to make a delicious I always mess it up, Dulce De Leche Cheesecake. This cheesecake is beautiful and it's so creamy and smooth and just perfect for the holidays. So let's get started. The first thing to start our cheesecake is to make our graham cracker crust. To make our graham cracker crust, I just have a bunch of graham crackers. You want about 1.5 cups of ground up brown crackers, which relates to about 1.5 packages. So I'm just going to add this into my food processor. You can also do this by hand with a rolling pin, but it's so much faster and easier if you have a food processor. And now we can just blend it all together until we have graham cracker crumbs. Now that my graham crackers are nice and fine, I can add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Get every last drop. Along with 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And now I can just give this a quick blitz so everything gets combined. Just scrape your processor down, make sure all the butter is getting combined. This is what will keep our crust sticking together. And the way I always check is see how it holds together. And this is how you know you have enough butter if it keeps its form. So now I'm going to shake off my hands because I just made a mess. And here I have my pie dish. I have an 8-inch pie dish, and I put parchment paper on the bottom because you do not want your cheesecake to stick. That is always a very sad day. And I also buttered it as well. And now we can just pour our crust into our pie tray. There we go. Shake it out all again. And then my method to getting a perfectly smooth pie crust is use a 1/2 cup or any size that you really want and press it down, and also press it up the sides of your pie dish. Now that my pie crust is completely smooth and it's also an equal level all around, I can pop this in my oven, and I have it preheating at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to bake my crust for about 10 minutes. Now that our crust is in the oven, we can start on our cheesecake. Here I have 2 blocks of cream cheese that are at room temperature, and to that I'm going to add in a 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, and I'm also adding in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And now I'm just going to blend this together for about 2 minutes until it's nice and silky and smooth. Okay, now that it's all blended together, let's not knock anything over, I can add in my eggs, and I have 2 eggs. And you're just going to want to beat this together really quickly, but you don't want to beat it for too long because that incorporates air into it. Whoop, good catch. Got a little egg on me. And just scrape down the sides, making sure everything is getting combined in your cheesecake. Now I'm just going to pour my cheesecake into my cooled crust. Now that I've smoothed out my cheesecake, I can add in some of my Dulce De Leche. Dulce De Leche. And this actually isn't caramel sauce. I always thought they were pretty interchangeable, but this is actually a Latin American sweet that's made from cooking down cow's milk with sugar. And you do want this to be fairly warm and soft. And I'm just going to put dollops on my cheesecake and then swirl it through. So let's do it. And now I'm just going to take a knife and swirl it through my cheesecake so you get this beautiful pattern. Also, for the amount of Dulce De Leche I use is about 1/3 cup. The baking of a cheesecake is one of the most important parts because you don't want it to crack. And my trick to making sure my cheesecake doesn't crack is use a water bath. So I fill up a pan so the water goes about halfway up on my cake pan. Oop, I put a little too much water in here. I was thinking that. Let's just do a quick pour out. One of the perks of shooting outside. Because you don't want it to be too high, you want it about halfway up your cake pan. It's still too high. Wow, I went overboard on the water. That should be good. Voila, perfect. And now I'm going to bake my cheesecake at 325 degrees for about 45 to 50 minutes. You still want a little bit of a wobble in the center of it. And then once it's finished baking, turn off your oven and slightly open your oven door just to let that cool air slowly go in instead of just taking it out and having it hit the cold air. So that is my tips and tricks on how to bake a cheesecake to make sure it is perfect. So let's bake it. And I'm back. I let my cheesecake sit overnight in the fridge so it is nice and cool, but you do want to chill it. You don't have to keep it overnight, but you do want to have a minimum of 4 hours in the fridge to let it really cool down as well as set up. So now the moment of truth, it is actually time to flip out our beautiful cheesecake. And this is always the scariest part for me. So I always put my plate on top and flip it out like this. Now isn't that just perfect? It came out so clean, so easily. Now that it's out of its pan, I'm going to flip it back over onto yet another plate. So it's top side up. And voila, here we have our beautiful cheesecake and it looks absolutely amazing, but the best part is still yet to come, tasting it. So let's cut into it and see how it looks. And here we have our cheesecake and you see those nice swirls of the Dulce De Leche throughout it, but now the best part, getting to taste it. Wow. That is incredible. It is so silky smooth and creamy and also decadent. That Dulce De Leche in there gives such an amazing flavor. I love this cheesecake. I'm so happy to share it with you guys. So please let me know if you try this cheesecake and what you think in the comments down below. Also, if you love homemade cheesecakes as much as I do, there should be a playlist right here or over here of all of my cheesecake recipes. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next Sunday. Bye for now. Also, don't forget to check back in next Sunday because I'm going to make a delicious caramel apple pie.